Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather with Free Time Solutions.
Hi, and welcome to the table. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather, and we love to come together and connect to the heart and soul of why we're doing what we do. And we're so honored today that Carol could be with us because Carol...
she's amazing.
Right.
Let's just start there. She loves to give back, and her entire job is giving back to our four-legged feline friends. As the co-director of Perfect Pals, which is a cat sanctuary here locally where we live. And not only that, but she's also offered to come and guest co-host with us. So I can't wait for you guys to meet again, if you haven't already, the amazing Carol Lamar.
Hi, everybody.
We're so glad to have you here with us.
Thank you.
So first things first, tell people a little bit about who you are, what you do, and Perfect Pals is... And Perfect Pals is actually our cause of the quarter this quarter.
And if you don't know why we pick a cause of the quarter, as entrepreneurs, we want to remind each other that it's important to give where our heart feels led to give. So what we do as part of our podcast is we have a cause every quarter. So we are excited that Carol has graciously accepted to be our cause of the quarter, and that we can share a little bit more about what they're doing. So go for it, Carol.
Yeah, so I have been with Perfect Pals for over 10 years now. I started off as a volunteer, and after doing that for a while, I realized my kids were going to be in school full time, and what was I going to do at home? So I ended up accepting a position here. And over the last 10 years, I've just kind of worked my way around in many roles. And now I'm the deputy director, which means I'm just I oversee operations and do HR functions and things like that. So I have a team. There's about 22 staff here. And we've been around since 1988. Our founder started Perfect Pals in Briar, Washington, and she moved up to Arlington in 1997 and has been up here in this Arlington area since then. And we see, like right now, we currently have 100 cats in our care here on site and almost another 100 in foster care. So we specialize in special needs cats. So we have a lot of cats that have medical needs that need a lot of help and care. So we have an on-site clinic. We have teams of people who clean the rooms. We have an admin team that helps with like PR and fundraising and things like that. And so it's the full meal deal here. So
that's fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. What do you think is the favorite job at Perfect Pals?
Oh, that's hard. And it always depends on who you ask. So I know everyone's always excited when kittens come in the door. And kittens don't normally live here. They always go to foster and get, excellent care from our foster team. But I think, gosh, that's a really hard one because I think everyone here has something that they love about what they're doing, but it's also a hard job too. It can take an emotional toll on you. You're caring for cats that sometimes come from hard situations, that have really serious medical needs. We also occasionally lose them, sadly. Some of them have cancer or end-stage kidney disease. So it sometimes doesn't always have a great outcome. So that's very sad. But all in all, I think the staff would say just spending time with the cats is very rewarding for them.
Mm,
I heard some
perfect.
science about like the purring and how that affects
Right.
the body. So it's actually some
Yeah.
stuff that cats are able to do for humans.
So
Yeah.
when
Sometimes
you're,
when I'm at my desk a lot, so sometimes when I'm not at my desk, I'll just go sit in a room and like pet a cat. I have an office cat too, but she isn't always as affectionate.
Mm,
she's only affectionate with you,
mhm.
from what I
When
understand.
she wants to be.
Yes.
So yeah.
Um, so we know that there's always a lot going on in pet shelters.
Mhm.
And that not only do you have to learn and manage the care of the cats, but also the care of the team that works for you.
Right. Absolutely. And I think because we're dealing with such hard issues,
Mhm.
sometimes that, we have to learn not only how to compartmentalize a little bit, but also to be able to process those emotions. Um, I know recently we've been short staffed, so I've been working with my team on, making sure you get it, your time off, making sure you're caring for yourself, making sure they're getting their lunch breaks, they're drinking water, they're, breathing occasionally, even though it's just constant go, 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 we still have to find that time to stop, take a breath, take your break, go out back, sit down on the picnic table for a few minutes. Just take that time to just kind of recenter yourself and then hit the ground running when you're ready to go again.
Yeah.
We've really been talking a lot about that need for rest and not working yourself like
So hard.
so hard. So
Right.
I really like when we were just chatting that we were talking about creating that culture of
Mhm.
taking care
Yes.
of yourself.
Right. I think some people think, and I think this came from maybe corporate culture or something like that, but just this whole, the harder you work, the better employee you are.
Mm.
But what does that get you in the end? A heart attack, ulcers. I mean, there's just working yourself that hard isn't going to get you some special award or gold star somewhere in the end, right? I mean, maybe in the short term, you might get some sort of recognition from your boss, maybe, right? Some places aren't great at acknowledging that. Um, but I feel like, you shouldn't be working yourself into a grave. I mean, we work so that we can enjoy other things. And if you're constantly working, you're not enjoying other things,
Right.
right?
Right. And one of the coolest things about being able to have that rest and enjoying other things isn't that when you get the best ideas?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like you get those moments of clarity because you've rested that you wouldn't otherwise get because you're too exhausted.
Right. And I know when I work longer than my normal week, so I'm working maybe 6, 7 days in a row, I start to experience decision fatigue where I'm being just peppered with questions they need answers from. And I am just like, I don't have the ability to even say yes or no at this point. My brain can't process it. And then I go home to my family and they're like, what's for dinner? And I'm just like, food? Like, I don't know. It's like I've just completely lost the ability to make any decisions for myself or anyone else at that point. But I find that when I take my days off and I'm able to disconnect and have those enjoyable times where I go hiking or I hang out with my family or go do things, that when I come back to work, I'm able to make decisions. I'm able to think clearer because I've been able to kind of just step away from it for a little bit and let my brain reset, get some sleep, all the
I
important things.
I actually had like a decision fatigue moment last week. I got like sensory overload from my kids bickering in the car when we were in the drive-through at the restaurant. And I forgot to get my card back from the
Yeah.
cashier, and I didn't order my child the right kind of soda, and I probably shouldn't have been driving because things weren't connecting the way that they should have been.
Right.
Because I was just overstimulated, overwhelmed, and exhausted.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so prevalent. And I think in our society too, with just having everything readily available, right?
Mhm.
Everything's instant, everything's right there. Um, we're a lot more fast paced than we used to be, that we forget how to even slow down, and how to take those days to just rest and it's okay to have a slow day.
Mhm.
It's okay to have a day where you feel like you didn't do anything, because you probably did do things, just not to the extent that you put these expectations on yourself that I have to do all these things,
Right.
right? So when you have a day that you're not doing all those things, you think you're being lazy, but you need those days. You really do.
Let's take a step back there for a minute. Like all these things
Yeah.
that come into our heads when we are not doing something
Right.
this is
Yeah.
the lies we tell ourselves
Hmm.
because we want to achieve that perfection, which we actually talk about all this stuff in our books this week. It's actually rad. And it's really interesting how when you actually look at the reality of what is, right? And you're
Mhm.
like,
But you get,
even if I get it done late, quote unquote
Mhm.
late,
Right.
what's the worst that could happen? It's late. That's it. Most of the
Right.
time, that's your only consequence. There are some situations where it might cost you a little extra money or something like that. But if you don't take that rest, did you know it actually takes you longer to do
Mhm.
things?
Right.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
during the rest is when we defrag.
Mhm.
I think that's the
Mhm.
easiest way to describe it. That's the time
Right.
when our body is built to defrag while we sleep and rest.
Mhm.
And so if we're not doing that,
We're not giving ourselves the rest, then we're not defragging, and it just builds up.
Right. Exactly.
and
Yep.
then I feel like we get into more of a reactionary place instead of a decided place.
Mhm.
And I know that we've really cultivated really hard,
Mhm.
worked to have the space to take the rest.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
But we still have expectations in our own heads. And
Mhm.
sometimes we still drive
Mhm.
ourselves too hard.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And there was a lull in our workload last week, and I looked at Heather and I'm like, I am so confused because I feel like there's nothing to do. She's like, because there isn't really that much to do.
You did the thing.
You did the thing already. I'm like, it's Tuesday.
Right.
Supposed to be working from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's it. That's the thing. But that's actually not reality because
Yeah.
we have actually cultivated a company culture of scheduling our rest, right? We take off
Mhm.
early on Fridays. We're usually done by like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and then we can actually have downtime with our families and things like that. Some people
That's great.
like to use their downtime for their creative time for work.
Oh.
And when 90% of our stuff is creative stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
you can do creative stuff that's not work or not work
Right?
related. So
I've been learning some new animated graphic stuff and learning some
Oh,
new stuff.
fun.
But so it's like not my work, but it's still like work adjacent and like building those skills up like on the off hours, right? But then I always
Yeah.
pull in like my clients' graphics or something to use. So it's still
I could
working.
use this for
Like this would be really cool to practice this. Oh, well, it didn't render. Never mind that I just spent, 15 hours on something that didn't work out for
Oh
my
my
client.
goodness.
Like, oh well.
I learned how to do the thing.
I can do the things now. I know how to do it right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really easy to get stuck in that cycle, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
because it feels
For
like
sure.
it takes back to the shouldas, the things I should have done, and
Oh
like the
yeah.
shitting on ourselves. Like that's where it goes for me. Like I feel like I should do this, and then when I hear myself
Mhm.
saying that to myself, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
should
I
I?
f-
Question mark.
yeah. I feel like too that as women, like, and of course I can't speak for men on this, but for women, I feel like there's this level of, we're responsible for the home, we're responsible for the kids, but we're also in an era where most of us are also working, where before, back maybe in our parents' or grandparents' generation, they only had one person working. And so at one point, I remember having a conversation with my husband when the kids were little. I think I was sick. My husband was getting the kids dressed to take them somewhere. And I was like, you're taking them out in that? Because in my mind, even though I knew he dressed them and that was his responsibility and his choices, if he's out in public, I can guarantee you that they're either going to think he's a single parent or it's going to reflect on me as the mom because I let them out of the house like that. And I feel like it's also the same with the home. Like people don't come into your house when it's a mess and think your husband isn't a good housekeeper, right? I mean, I think most of the time, like I
True.
think it
It is
really does
very,
reflect on the women. So we are doing way more
oh,
than it's crazy.
yeah. And if a single guy like has a messy house, it's like, oh, his mom not taught him how to clean up after himself.
Or they feel sorry for him. Like, oh, like like if
Oh,
they're
you need
divorced or something. Oh,
somebody
I feel
to
so
clean up
bad.
after you. No, you need to clean up after
Yeah.
yourself.
Right.
Thanks.
Right. And I know that's not everybody, right?
Right. It's
But
just an
I do
example.
feel like there's that standard put on women to have it all together in every area of their life, and I don't feel that same, and like again, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like that same standard is not placed on men, and that's nothing against men. I just feel like their standard is more work related, that they have really high standards for work but not in the home and those other places, but we have it like everywhere. And also I think we've put those standards on ourselves too, in a sense, because I think if we could get past what the world has put on us and just say, I don't care what anyone thinks, or even if they are thinking about it, right? We may be able to get past that and not have such a heavy burden on our own shoulders that we place there. Like I need to be okay that my house isn't clean. There are 3 other people in my house that know how to clean.
I heard a quote the other day, and I might be misspeaking it, but basically it was like, um, if you have a problem with me, go ahead, pick up the phone and call me about it. Oh, you don't
Mhm.
have my number? I guess your opinion doesn't matter that much.
That's great. I
If
love
they
that.
don't have your phone, if they are not close enough to you where they at least have your phone number to call you and talk to you
Mhm.
about whatever issue it is, they do not have opinions over how you run your life.
that's
Right.
a good like hard boundary for
Right.
someone, right? Like if you're not sure, like
Yeah.
Or if you're
should I worry about should I worry about this random comment on Facebook, right? Like,
Right.
right? Like, no, you shouldn't.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
right. So like I think that there was such the Instagram perfect view for so long. So now
Mhm.
when people see a mess somewhere, and I'm very self-conscious of this, like how a picture is taken so that can you see the mess or not see the mess, or like
Right.
the strategic picture,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Another way I've heard it said was a gentleman had like a business card in his wallet that he kept with
Mhm.
all the names of the people in his life that mattered. Anytime anybody
Mhm.
had a problem with him, he would pull out that card, look at it. Your name's not on here. Your opinion doesn't matter. Bye-bye.
Ooh.
Right?
That's
So
great.
it's like, do these people actually matter? Like, does their opinion actually matter to you
Right.
right now? Right?
Right. Yeah.
And
And
is
I
it my
think if we're,
responsibility? Because I feel like sometimes we think it's our
yeah.
responsibility
Mm,
and they're not that circle. So like one time I remember doing this activity where it was like I put me in the middle, and
mhm.
then like the next ring out was like my immediate family who lived under my roof, and then the people I love, and then my friends,
Mm,
and everybody else fell out here. So if they're not in this circle, do they
mhm.
have the right to have that opinion, or and do I need to pick up their stuff? Like, what circle am I in? Is this something they can handle themselves?
It's
It's
interesting.
like
Yeah.
a way to look at it for myself, like,
Mhm.
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's important to be able to do that. And I know not everyone has the tools at the moment to be able to do that in their life, but I think if you can get there, it's really important because it really does take that weight off of taking on extra emotions and stress and items that just aren't, you don't have to. They're just not yours. Someone else will either take care of it or that person can go on and think whatever they want. But it is definitely a hard place to get to if you're not, if you've struggled with that, right? I mean,
Right,
Yeah.
right,
yeah,
right. And
yeah,
your worst critic is usually yourself.
right.
All that judgment that you think is being placed on you, they might say things, and other people might say things or whatever, but
Yeah.
you will say those things to yourself more than you will hear them from somebody else.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're allowing yourself to think like that and say
Mhm.
things to yourself, you will actually start picking up on things in the world
Mhm.
that wouldn't normally
Mhm.
mean that, and you will
Mm,
personally take it that way. And that's part of
right.
What you're focused on.
what you're focused on is so important. So if you're focused on
Yeah.
gratitude and being grateful in a situation versus focusing on all the bad things happening to us in our life, and not
Right.
looking for the silver lining or what could I learn from this, there's all these lessons you can get in a situation if you take the moment to not be reactive,
Mhm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So many
Yeah.
tools, like,
Mhm.
right,
I
like,
know.
and as you like learn different tools, I think that that's one of those things, right? Like at first we
Yeah.
gotta learn to stop and take a deep breath.
Mhm.
Then maybe the
Mhm.
next thing I need to learn is insert it. What is the next thing you need to learn to take care of yourself? And learning one thing at a
Yeah.
time and making that a habit and normal for you, and normalizing it for yourself.
Mhm. Another reason
Yeah.
I think rest is so important is you can take something that occurred throughout the day, maybe a situation that you were really like, you could hear your itty bitty shitty committee screaming at you for, and really sit in it for a minute and be like, is this true for me now?
Yeah.
And work, that rest will give you the time that you need to process that. You
Mhm.
process the emotions and whatever trauma came up for you and things like that. I spent all day the other
Right.
day crying because I was processing
Yeah.
some financial trauma that
Yeah.
I was releasing because it's no longer serving me. So you
Yeah.
take time Personal growth is not always fun.
It's not shiny.
Nope.
It's
And
not
daisies
shiny,
and
it's
peace
not
signs.
pretty,
Messy.
it's messy, it's ugly, and
Yeah.
but it's like the lotus flower. You come out of the mud.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely.
Do you have anything else you'd like to finish up with today? Because
I don't know.
this has been a great
I
conversation.
know.
I know.
We just really adore you, Carol, and thank you so much for
Oh, thank
being part
you.
of the podcast team this quarter.
Yeah. What was that? Oh, sorry.
And a great friend.
Oh, yes. You guys are also great friends. I love you guys so much.
Mwah.
We love you.
And thank you to our audience for joining us today for this awesome conversation. We hope that you get the rest you need so that you can have a better day.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Have an awesome time. We love you.
Namaste. Mwah. As entrepreneurs, we have a unique opportunity to make a positive impact in the world around us. In a time when the world is shifting towards supporting local businesses and embracing community-driven initiatives, it becomes even more important for us to give where our heart leads us. At the table, we believe in the power of giving back, and that's why we have our cause of the quarter. This quarter, we are proud to support Perfect Pals, a local organization dedicated to rescuing and providing care for stray cats in our community. By supporting local causes like Perfect Pals, we not only make a difference in the lives of those in need, but we also contribute to the growth and well-being of our local community. We believe in small acts of kindness, and they can create a ripple effect of positivity, inspiring others to do the same. As we shift our focus solely from supporting large corporations to championing local businesses and giving back, we not only strengthen our community, but we also foster a sense of connection and unity. Together, we can create a thriving ecosystem where everyone can flourish. So let's follow our hearts and give where it truly matters. Join in supporting Perfect Pals and making a difference in the lives of these furry companions. Together we can make our community a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Thank you for being part of our journey and for embracing the spirit of giving together. Let's create a brighter future for all. Are you tired of juggling endless tasks, struggling to find time for what truly matters? We have the solution for you. Introducing Free Time Solutions, your ultimate partner in reclaiming your time and maximizing your potential. At Free Time Solutions, we specialize in helping businesses like yours thrive in a digital world. From social media management to website optimization and branding, we have the expertise to elevate your online presence and streamline your operations. Imagine having time to focus on what you love to do while we take care of your business. With our dedicated team of experts and innovative solutions, we leave you free to pursue your passions and achieve your goals. Whether you are a small business owner, entrepreneur, freelancer, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal is simple: to give you back time, freedom to do what you do best while we handle the rest. So join us at the table and let Free Time Solution empower you to take control of your time and unlock your full potential. Visit our website at www.yourfreetimeback.com. That's www.yourfreetimeback.com to learn more and schedule your consultation today. Free Time Solutions, your partner in success. Let's make the most of your free time together. Thank you for joining us at the table. Stay tuned for weekly readings on Sunday, Mindset Monday, discussing our weekly readings on Monday, and on Friday, our interview and potentially guest hosts. Stay tuned.
Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.